Hello and welcome to episode 55 of Soccercraft. In the last episode, we started building Ba Sing Se's wall, and in between episodes, I've been really busy on and off live streams building up this wall, and I can't believe how much of this I've already gotten done. It's quite the grind. It's a really big grind, but I've crushed, I think we're at 75% done the outer wall, which is obviously the harder wall to do. So we're doing really well, and I can thank that to some of the techniques that I figured out while building this to help me build it faster. And I'm going to be talking about those with you today, as well as building up some farms in the area to make this place a little bit more livable. And if you're excited to learn some wall building techniques, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps support the channel and I'd appreciate it a lot. Now to talk about these techniques. When I first started building the wall, this is kind of what I did. I would pick one of the blocks that I wanted to be in part of this level of the palette. So right now we have stone and smooth stone. And I would just run and randomly place the block that I wanted to be placed much less. And just kind of see where it laid. And that worked great. But now I have to run back with stone and fill in all the blank spots. So really for every layer I needed to do as many passes as blocks that I wanted down. But I discovered recently that it's much easier to use macros. So I've set up this macro that makes it scroll through my Hot Wheel bar. Basically it's my macro system telling my computer to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 over and over again, and then I'm just able to walk forward and place blocks and not have to worry about which one I'm placing, because I can control that by just controlling which blocks are in my hotbar. For example, you'll see in the hotbar down below I have 3 of the smooth stone blocks and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the regular stone blocks, so that's kind of like my ratio that I'm going for here. For every 3 blocks of smooth stone, I want there to be 6 blocks of stone. So it doesn't quite work out that way exactly, but it roughly works out to give a really nice random effect to it. And then we can just turn on the walls and see where we need to start turning it and keep heading backwards. And after we move up a level, we can think, maybe I should actually stop the macro, take this smooth stone out, we'll put a little bit more stone in, and actually maybe it's time to add some polished andesite and a little bit of stone bricks into the palette. Turn on the macro and we keep walking forward and it randomly adds those blocks in while we're placing them. So we think of those being at just a little bit less than 10% of the blocks placed, with stone being the most placed block right now and smooth stone being the other most placed block right now. And just using this building method, I think I saved myself probably hours of time, just based on the fact that I don't have to do multiple takes of each layer. And now that you know my building techniques for building this wall, I'm going to hop into a time lapse and get some more work done on it. I'll see you guys when we get back. Welcome back. The Ba Sing Se wall is complete. Well, at least the outer wall is complete. And now this wall took so long to do, but without the macros and all those extra things that we used, I think it would have taken even longer. And just being able to fly up way into the sky, look down and see the completed wall is such an amazing thing for me. I can't believe that I got all of this done in just like a week and a bit. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the wall is looking so far. And since I started the last time lapse, there's a few other things that I want to catch you up on. First off, I had my in real life birthday. So we ended up having an in Minecraft birthday party for me on a live stream, and we created up this birthday room right over here that I want to show you guys. It's kind of like the first room that I've created in the Bossing Say area, and it's very important to me. I had a really good birthday, and everyone who was at the live stream, thank you so much for showing up. But yeah, without further ado, I'll show you what it looks like. I have this here to stop any creepers that might fall down from walking in here. But we did a ton of armor stand work, creating up a little scene of me and all my, I guess, Twitch friends having a birthday party together. Here we've got some friends hopping out of the cake. Here's me. And we got some Spider-Man hanging from the chandelier, just based on what people's skins were. And I can't help but feel so happy every time I come in here. The room's not completely finished, and it's actually what we're going to be working on next. But I need to just show you guys what we have done so far. And in terms of finishing up this room, it's mostly finished. I kind of want to figure out something to do with this back wall over here. Add a little bit of extra decoration in, maybe some more armor stand type stuff. Maybe some balloons would be really good. And yeah, mostly just kind of capping off the walls is the most important part with this room. So I'm going to go ahead, do a little bit of work in here, and let's see what we can come up with. And I think I can call the birthday room complete. I've added a few things. I added this guest list here. We added a bunch of balloons all around. Some of them are just floating around. And we added these, actually, what are these called again? I can never, I can't get it. Spore blossom. Okay, it's called a spore blossom. These spore blossoms, I've kind of used them picturing them being confetti for the area. Because, you know, what's a party without confetti as long as I don't have to clean it up? And yeah, at the back of the walls here, I decided to go with lapis to really stand out and give a good contrast to the walls. And I think it worked really well. I've been itching to use this lapis block because it is one of my favorite blocks in the game. And it's really hard to find good spots to use it, but it's such a pretty block. And yeah, we've added a bunch of cups for everyone around the table. A bunch of balloons got stuck in the corner. And we have these, I guess I'll call this a water tribe banner. I don't have anything better yet. It's kind of just a water drop, but we have water drop banners around. And I think it looks pretty cool, so I'm pretty happy with it. And that's pretty much the birthday area. Now, I have some other things that I want to work on in today's episode as well. Never mind, I forgot to place those last few trapdoors. Now this area is looking complete. We can move on to some other things now. And the other thing that I want to work on today brings us down to the super smelters that we made in the last episode, because I want to find a better way to fuel it. You see, I've been using coal blocks. Coal blocks to fuel the furnaces, and it is extremely inefficient because there's a lot of waiting time in between each layer. Each minecart has to fill up to, I think, like 24 items or something like that, and then it'll go across. And actually, it's pretty inefficient in the way that like these last furnaces get more items than the rest of them. But it's whatever. I'm not a professional technical builder. I'm just good. Yeah. You know what I mean. Anyways, we're going to build some farms down here, and I want to build up another type of bamboo farm to fuel these furnaces, but I'm going to use a different style of bamboo farm than I've ever done before, and we're going to use flying machines as harvesters for the first time ever, because I finally found a reliable harvester that doesn't break every time it gets unloaded. And that is thanks to this design here made by Borcon, and he calls this the Reliable Harvester. How this works is you turn on the circuit and there gets a constant signal of pulses sent along these repeaters. So if for some reason the signal were to cut out and the flying machine were to get stuck somewhere in the middle of your crop fields of bamboo, kelp, or sugarcane, you can just send another pulse to the system and that will fix it and then continue it and bring it back to where it needs to be. So basically it is able to completely fix itself if it gets stuck, and that's completely ideal because most of the flying machine farms that we've seen, basically if it gets unloaded, it breaks, then you have to completely break the flying machine and rebuild it, and I kind of want this so that it fixes itself. And if we come way over here, you can see that this design is infinitely expandable, so it can fit whatever sized farm you need. So I'd say it's about time for us to build it up in the Let's Play world. Welcome back. We got the bamboo farm in place. Well, at least half of it. I want to build another one over here, but I wanted to show you it here first. So I have it set up so that you can launch it by pressing that note block, but I also have it set up so that we can use this hopper clock to make it so that it goes off on a timer. And I want to just put 5 stacks in, make it as long of a timer as possible, and that has activated the farm. So now this is going to go, then we've also got the mine carts going underneath to collect everything. And then eventually everything ends up coming out over here in these 7 separate unloaders, which go to 7 separate hopper lines, which I've lag-proofed with these composters. And then they go to a bunch of different item elevators and send them up to each respective super smelter. So now we've got like bamboo flowing in through each one of these. At least once I get the other, oh, there you can hear it going. I haven't covered up all of the note blocks, it sounds, but yeah, you can hear the items going into where they need to go. And oh, that's what I need to do. I need to add something that goes on top of here to knock all of the bamboo that gets stuck on top of the honey off. But even just on the way back, you can see the amount of bamboo that's grown for it to break. And I have to say, this thing gives us absolutely crazy amounts of bamboo. Now I just need to make a few slight modifications and build up the second one, and all of our furnaces will be fueled for the foreseeable future. And the first modification is, now that I see where this comes to rest, I need to get rid of this first row of bamboo right here, and what I'm gonna do is take a non-sticky block, which actually not a lot of people know that moss isn't a sticky block, and I'll put it so that it comes along right across here. So when the honey line comes to rest, it will brush across here, knocking down any bamboo that's stuck on top of it, and it'll be able to be picked up by the furnaces as well. I mean the hopper minecarts, and then brought to the furnaces. That's what I meant. And then along here, I'm just going to cover this up, and we're going to create a wall of glass to conceal the 2 separate farms in. But I think at this height, I'm going to need the wall to also be a non-sticky block so the honey doesn't grab it. So I'll just come along here with the moss as well. And I went ahead and built the second module of the farm, and we are now collecting all the bamboo, and the furnaces are starting to fill up. Now, this second section hasn't run very much, so if we fly into this back corner here, ow, my face, you'll see that, yeah, we don't have any backup of bamboo yet, but I think it should, yeah, it's starting, ooh, we lost a composter. It is starting to flow into the hoppers, so in about maybe 30 minutes of AFK time, maybe these hoppers would be filled. I feel like we're getting that much bamboo. But there is a slight issue that I'm running into. And it was just a small redstone mistake. But I'm going to fix it in between episodes because we're running pretty low on time today. But here, let me show you what the issue is. If we come down here, right around here, I actually made it so that each of these mechanisms to unload the mine carts were a little bit too close to the hopper lines, so these hoppers are actually getting locked unless there is a mine cart in position. That's the only time that it gets unlocked. So the items do flow away from here, but only when it's unloading something else. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that, probably just lower down all of these mine carts a little bit and then drag everything along here. And oh, we're losing frames, so that must mean that, yep, everything's collecting. Yeah, it does create a little bit of lag, but with this many entities being created, it kind of makes sense. But yeah, let's go see if we're getting some bamboo flowing in. All right, yeah, we're getting bamboo flowing down to the farthest of the smelters, so I'm going to assume that the rest of the smelters are getting some as well. Judging by this, it looks like all of the item elevators are working. So yeah, we're getting items to all of the smelters now. That means our super smelters are good for the foreseeable future. And that is exactly what we need because we still have a ton of wall work to do here in this Bossing Say build. But with that being said, we're all out of time for today's episode. I wanted to end off today's episode right here next to the guest list of all the people who came to my birthday party in Minecraft. And yeah, I want to thank everyone once again. I really appreciate everyone showing up. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, consider leaving a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys next time. Water Tribe, out.